I wanted to show y'all today a little bit about what some of the stuff I do whenever I'm editing a wedding video. So one of the processes I go through is I edit out distracting objects like this is probably like a shawl or a jacket. So what I'll do is I'll go through and just clone distracting background objects out of the shot. I go through, I edit literally every single image on a wedding, in a wedding album. This is not a standard practice. This is something that takes a lot of time, but something that I feel like is valuable, and I never want to release an image. If I can make it perfect and wall-worthy and beautiful, I want to take that extra time to make sure that I do that for my clients. So this is one thing that I do on all of my images is I just go through and I take out like distracting objects like what was right there in that corner. If you look in the background, I also have a shooter in the background here, a photographer. We don't want them. Y'all don't want me in there. So I'm gonna go through and edit out. I'll have to really zoom into that area to make it look professional and like you won't be able to tell that any work was done on the image. So that includes like really making sure that all the lines add up, the shadows have to match. Otherwise you're going to be able to tell that it was photoshopped and manipulated. So I go through and make sure that I take out anything in the background that's distracting. Make it perfection for my clients. That's looking pretty good there. Now when I zoomed in, I also noticed a step stool back in the background. I want to go through and take that out as well. So right here, this takes a little bit more. I have to go through with a pen and go around this lady's arm, because if not, I'm going to start cutting into cloning out of her arm, and we don't want that. We want this to look really nice and clean. So I'll just go around that step stool there, and then I start to, it's very important whenever you're cloning, there's lines and shadows and everything that we do, everything we shoot. So those lines have to match up. If they don't match up, I see a lot of photographers that start cloning stuff out, but if you zoom way in, their lines don't match up, and if you start looking, it really starts making the image look really funny and wonky because their lines and shadows don't match, and so it just doesn't blend well. So it's just as important whenever you're hiring a photographer that you get a photographer that knows what they're doing, of course, to take the images, but also one that if they're going to use Photoshop skills and this be a service that they offer, that they know what they're doing to be able to do it to look professional and not be an eyesore and be something that sticks out like a sore thumb whenever you get your final images. So what I'm doing now is there was a reflection of that stool on this. You can kind of see the white there. That's from that step stool. So I'm just going back and making sure that that was taken out so that, again, your shadows look correct to the eye. So those shadows look good. I still have a shadow here from that body that I took out. So I'm gonna zoom back in here and take out that shadow because that doesn't look right. That wouldn't be how it was naturally there if that person wasn't standing there. So we're gonna take that shadow out so that it doesn't look weird. So now when you zoom back out to the full image, that looks much, much better than the previous version. So anyways, that's a little bit of behind the scenes of editing. Again, I edit every single image that I take on wedding days. That takes a lot of time, but it's something that I value just as much as the taking of the pictures. So hope y'all enjoyed the video, and y'all have a blessed evening. Bye.